a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This week our trivia show is about cults, a favorite subject here at Pick a Side Stupid. And I'm here with my co-host May Keith, and we have Angela Sawyer and Katie Keith with us as contestants as well. And I know we were off last week, May, because I was probably too tired to do the show, and you had like an engagement party, or what was?
Yeah. My younger brother got engaged, and
Nice.
so Katie, my sister here, she and I were outside around a fire pit with masks on, celebrating with our little brother. Yeah.
How do you like sip champagne over the mask? How do you celebrate with masks
That's
on?
a good question how they did it. I have been, without alcohol for 8
Oh
months
yeah,
now because I am in my 8th month of pregnancy. So,
yeah, true.
when we ate, I actually went into the garage. Everyone else ate like in the yard, and I actually went to like a separate location entirely because I'm a germaphobe. So,
So you're being very careful.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, nice. So the girl your brother is marrying, you very good friends. Are you happy about this? Are you upset?
I like her. She's awesome. She's got a good sense of humor, and she can kind of keep up with the Keith clan, which is not easy. So she's doing great. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Well, so I'm excited that we're doing cults this week. I think when I wrote to you, you were like, hell yeah. So.
Yeah. And when you said you got Angela, I was like, that's perfect. Because, I mean, I don't want to ruin the story, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Angela, were you not sued by a cult once upon a time?
Not quite, but I did get a cult member very angry at me, and he threatened to sue his local paper over what I said. And he also told me that he would make sure that I never wrote any words again.
What a weird threat.
Scary.
Yeah. Well, and what about you, Katie? Are you a cult enthusiast or specialist or what?
I think I know about 2 cults, so it's gonna be a lot of figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, you can shoot from the hip on the show, and the good news is that you're each going to start with 10 points. So you're already doing pretty good. And the other good news is that if we like the way that you got to your answer, we're going to give you points whether it was right or wrong. Sometimes you can get more points for a wrong answer if we like how you thought of it. So
It's true.
yeah, May will be asking all the questions. I'm going to be like doing software stuff, putting them on the screen and stuff like that, timing you guys. So if it gets to like a minute, I'll just be like, we should really have an answer. But other than that, just talk it through, whatever.
All right. Are we ready to jump in here?
Ready.
Okay. Well, since Angela has been actually threatened with legal action by a cult member before, I'm going to allow Angela to go first.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we have 5 categories. You have to answer one question, at least one question from each of the 5 categories, and then you'll get a 6th question at the end as well.
Okay.
So your categories are cult films, which are just cult films that actually have nothing to do with cults. Then we have cult music, which actually has to do with music produced by cults. Religion, famous incidences, and wild card.
All right. Okay. Well, I just started doing a podcast about cult films with my friend Ken, and I'm pretty excited about it. We've only seen 3 movies so far, but I feel good about it. So I'm going to start there.
All right. So what were the 3 movies?
So far, we watched Roar, the movie about Tippi Hedren living with lions, and Melanie Griffith, her daughter, and getting heavily injured by them.
Never heard that movie.
Uh,
It's crazy.
yeah. We watched Deathlight and Egg, which is an Italian 70s, 60s movie about murder, but it takes place around hundreds of chickens. and uh, and then we watched Incubus, which is an early pre-Star Trek William Shatner movie, where the entire movie is filmed in the language Esperanto.
Interesting.
That's the reaction I'm looking for.
All right, cool. So I think our cult films are a little more mainstream than those ones, maybe.
That's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a question about my all-time favorite cult classic film, which is Tremors. Okay.
Okay.
So Tremors had a really weird side effect on the star Kevin Bacon, who at the time of filming felt it was a low point in his career from which he would never recover. So what happened to him while he was shooting this movie? As part of his kind of mental breakdown. Your options are A, he had night terrors and kept sleepwalk carrying his pregnant wife to safety. B, he believed that there were actual graboids after him while he was tripping on peyote. C, he was so stressed he asked the film crew to leave the set so he could just dance it out. Or D, he built his own Burt Gummer style gun room just in case shit got real.
Okay. The last Kevin Bacon movie I saw was one, which I'm not going to remember the title of, where he plays a scientist, like an egotistical scientist who invents a terrible procedure that turns on him. It's like an update of the Frankenstein story. And Kevin Bacon was really good at playing a dick. So he seemed so natural at that, much more so than he was at playing like a guy who is psyched to dance. So I think that I'm going to pick that he carried his pregnant wife to safety.
That is actually correct.
Amazing.
Great job, Angela. Yeah, I guess he kept having these like reoccurring night terrors that like they were in all this danger and would sleepwalk and carry his wife like outside, and she kept being like, wake up, this is not real, like you're sleepwalking. Weird story, but yeah, I think you got the right answer, and I liked that you kind of threw some shade at Kevin Bacon there, so that's 5 points for me, Angela.
Awesome.
Ooh, nice job.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an extra point there too, just for throwing the Footloose reference. So that makes it 16-point start right there.
Nice.
Also, Kevin Bacon is really good at playing a dick. Like, I don't know if you've seen the show City on a Hill, but he plays like this kind of grimy detective, and he's so good in it.
Yeah, I feel like it seems like it would be hard to play a dick unless you have a little bit, tiny bit in you, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we all have a little in us, though.
Yeah.
I liked him in Stir of Echoes. I think that's a fun child can see ghosts movie that came out the same time as Sixth Sense. But all right, so Katie,
All right.
you need to get 6 points this turn to stay on track with Angela here. So what category do you want to go to?
A lot of pressure. Let's do famous incidents.
All right.
See what I know.
Okay. So, Katie, do you remember the Heaven's Gate cult? Are you familiar with that cult at all? Yeah,
Yeah.
so they were the ones who thought that there was a spaceship behind the comet and did a mass suicide.
Right.
Okay, so famously, the Heaven's Gate cult members all wore the same Nikes, same Nike shoes during their mass suicide. According to surviving members, why did the group go with Nikes? Okay, your options are A, in honor of the Roman god Nike, god of victory. B, because Michael Jordan was a former member of the cult. C, because the Nike symbol sort of looked like a comet. Or D, because they, quote, got a good deal.
Okay. Nikes. I don't think they got a good deal because there were like 40 people that committed suicide, I think. Something like
Yeah,
crazy.
like
Or
39
like,
people. Yeah.
oh, okay. All right. 40 people. So I feel like that's not going to be the answer. I don't think that they believed in like gods. Like it was like aliens and stuff, right? And space, like you said, like. So I'm gonna go with C, a comet, because that sounds like the most reasonable for their Heaven Gates people. I'm gonna go with C. Am I wrong?
Okay. You are wrong, but you had some really good reasoning there, Katie. Yeah, that was my fake answer to trick you. No, the real answer is they got a good deal. Nike no longer makes that type of shoe anymore, by the way. They stopped selling that style. But you're right about the amount of people. You're right about the beliefs of the cult. So I'm going to give you 3 points for that one, Katie. I thought that was pretty good. Pretty strong showing.
I remember that cult. Okay.
Can we
Yeah.
give some extra points to Heaven's Gate for inventing Groupon?
I was gonna give Katie some points here, but I feel like if anything, buying stuff in bulk should get you a deal. Although maybe not from Nike, you know.
Yeah, I feel like Nike's too big to do like only 40 people. If you're gonna buy like 1,000, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. I'm throwing a point on there because that was tricky. Like, it's not like Nike's hurting for business.
Yeah. I mean, they're awfully uppity for a brand that endorsed mass suicide, you know? But all right. So that's round 1 is down and Angela is leading by 2 points.
Oh, Jesus. Katie Baker in the comments says, I would have thought it was because the slogan was just do it.
Oh, that's a much better joke. Oh, that's great. Okay, so Angela, where would you like to go for your next question?
Okay, next question. I will go with religions, sort of religious incidents.
All right. Okay. So your question is, in recent years, Scientology has formed a close relationship with which religion, recruiting their members for Dianetics and auditing courses at the recommendation of that group's leaders. Okay, your options are, so which is the religion that has kind of a cozy relationship with Scientology? Your options are A, the Amish, B, the Catholic Church, C, the Nation of Islam, or D, Hasidic Judaism.
That is tough. I'm in trouble no matter how I answer that question.
Careful here.
Who do I think? Let's see. Okay. Hasidic Judaism, Nation of Islam, Catholic Church, or what was the last one?
The Amish.
Or the Amish. Okay. I just can't imagine the Amish being into Scientology. They're so ascetic. That seems really wrong. It's not their thing. It's a new religion. It's too new for them. That leaves guys with hair that curls like mine. Guys who don't like me on sight. And Catholics. Of all of those sets of people, I don't know. I used to watch a 5%er show where I loved it. It was a public access 5%er show based out of New York. And I loved it because the ideas were really wild and everybody was really fun and people like got really into their ideas, pounded on tables and showed up with guns sometimes, and it was cool. But I gotta say, I think compared to the Catholic Church, Nation of Islam and Hasidic Judaism is really reasonable. The Catholic Church is the wildest of all those groups. They make the worst decisions of all those groups, and they have a really long history of making terrible decisions. So I'm going with them.
So that's a really good guess. And if the Catholic Church were keeping the money for the Dianetics courses and auditing, I would say that would be, reasonable. But no, actually, in this instance, it is the Nation of Islam. Yeah, I saw that on like a documentary recently about Scientology, and I was like, that's weird. And I started reading about it, and it's all these weird backdoor funding agreements. But I think it's well reasoned. Good guess. I'm giving you 2 points for that answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, it was at least a solid strategy to go with the one group that people might be like, she might be one of them. But also, I got to give you 2 points here because the easy way would have been to say the Amish, because they're not going to watch this. They're not going to be like, what was she thinking? Why would she say that about us? So I'm going to give you 2 points. And May, how many points did you say?
I gave her 2.
Okay, so that's 4 more, so that's up to 20 now.
All right.
So still comfortably in the lead, Angela. Still doing great. Yeah, I do think it would be funny to see like an Amish guy holding like the little Dianetics rod thing, doing the whatever. I don't know what Scientology does. It's crazy.
Way too complicated of technology for the Amish.
Way too, yeah. It's alien tech or something. I don't know. All right, Katie, it is your turn. You have some ground to make up here.
I know. Let's go with wild card.
Wild card. All right. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question about Parks and Rec, actually.
Okay.
This is actually a tough trivia question.
Okay.
All right. I believe in you though, Katie.
All right.
So in Parks and Rec, the town has a small cult that worships the 28-foot lizard god Zorp. Hail Zorp.
Mm-hmm.
What does the cult believe Zorp will do when he finally returns to Earth? Your options are A. He will merge with Lil Sebastian to form a truly perfect entity and bring world peace. B. He will liberate humans from their skin suits, revealing that we are all lizard people beneath. C. He will melt off everyone's face with his volcano mouth. Or D, he's just there to party and have a good time, man.
This is such a good question. Okay. All right. What was A again? What was the first one?
A is merge with Lil Sebastian and bring about world peace.
Very nice. And I really wish that was the answer, but I'm pretty sure that's not the answer. It's been a long time since I've seen Parks and Rec all the way through, but I don't think that cult has anything to do with Little Sebastian. So I'm pretty sure that it's melt your face off. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because I'm remembering it that way, and I feel like, why would I remember that if that's not the answer? So I'm just gonna go with melt your face off.
That is correct.
Okay, cool.
Good work, Katie.
Happy
Good job. Yeah, I'm giving you 4 points for having such a great memory.
I mean, I'm giving you 6 points because anything Parks and Rec related that you can get right, that's a high scoring one right there. So that's 10 total. 24 points for Katie right now.
Katie just catapulted into the lead with that one.
I'm not gonna get comfortable though. I find it.
All right, so Angela, you are up. You have
All right.
music, famous incidences, and wild card remaining.
All right. Let's go with famous incidences.
All right. So your question is about a cult I had never heard of, but maybe you have. I guess this is an international one. I guess this one was pretty famous. So are you familiar with the Japanese cult Shinrikyo?
The sarin gas people. Yes, I am.
Oh, so okay. Well then, I guess you might know the answer already. But so this cult committed several acts of domestic terror, including an incident in 1995 that left 12 dead and thousands injured. What did they do?
They put a bunch of. Go ahead. Give me my options. I want to know what they are.
Okay, so your options are A, it was a speed like there's a bomb on this bus type situation. B, they released nerve gas on a subway. C, they poisoned a bunch of flu vaccines. Or D, they threw heavy stones from the tallest building in the city.
I would love it so much if they threw rocks on people. That's such a great cult goal.
That's just old school terrorism right there, yeah.
That's really fun. No, unfortunately, I know that one because I'm very old, and so everybody was like, "What's this new thing to be afraid of? It's this magical gas," and then a bunch of people used it. They put sarin gas, I think, in like bags on the subway platforms, and some people passed away, which is very unfortunate. And the only thing that is fun about that cult is that I don't know about you, but I'm overweight, so I'm a big fan of people who are so pudgy faced that you can't see their eyes. I look for them. It's like you got to shout out to the people like you. And the guy who's the leader of that cult, whose name is like Aon, and then a long last name that I can't pronounce, starts with an S. He looks like somebody should put a frozen steak on his face. he is like all pudgy in the face. And I find it really amusing when, like, cult leaders are supposed to be so charismatic. You'd have to be so charismatic to get somebody to do this, and yet he looked terrible. Which, it speaks to the power of his charisma.
Yeah, he must have been extra charismatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, great answer. Good memory. I'm giving you 4 points for the strong memory and knowledge, Angela.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you a point for waiting for me to give you the options, even though you clearly knew right from the get-go. And I'm also going to give you a point for not claiming that flu vaccines are poison to begin with. So I think that's 6 points right there, right? So
Yep.
26 to 24 right now.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's heating up. It is heating up. Yeah, we're a very pro-vaccine show here, so good.
I got one just the other day,
Nice. Flu
I had
vaccine?
to. No, it's the Tdap.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah. So
Yep.
they were fresh out of flu vaccines at CVS, and they were like, "Do you want to go to a different?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll just get poked once today. That's fine."
Nice. All right, so Katie, you still have 3 categories. You have movies, music, and religion.
Let's do movies, I guess. I wish I got that Tremors one. Love those movies.
Okay. Katie, your question is from Sean.
Okay.
So Sean asks, 2 of the masks that were used to create killer clowns from outer space were repurposed to portray trolls in which movie?
Okay.
Your options are A, Trolls, B, The Troll Hunter, D, It, or D, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, Ernest Scared Stupid. That'd be great. What was the first one? Trolls, like the animated film Trolls for kids. That one.
That is, yeah, that is the one that I'm thinking of here.
That's an option. Okay. I would love it if it was Trolls. What was the other one? Troll Hunter and
Troll Hunter, It, and Ernest Scared Stupid.
It. And they were repurposed
From Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Which I think is a movie that Pat made us watch like 10 years ago. I remember watching it. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I probably definitely didn't watch it, but yeah. I was like 6. There's no way. Okay.
You were not 6 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's true. I am 30. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go with like Ernest Scared Straight, just because that would be great if it was that.
So it's Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, I said Scared Straight, like what's that jail that they take kids to jail or whatever?
That too, yeah. Well, great job, Katie. That's the correct answer. I'm giving you 4 points for the correct answer.
Great. That was a great question.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, and I'll give you 2 points for saying it's a great question. So
Nice.
I want to know which criminal they got to scare Ernest straight.
Hannibal Lecter? I don't know. Those movies were fun, though. I like the Ernest movies. Although I haven't watched them in a long time. I don't know if they hold up.
Probably
yeah,
not.
I feel like they probably don't, but who knows?
All right, we got 2 questions left in the initial round before kind of the lightning end game questions. So Angela, you still have music and wild card.
Okay, I'm gonna take wild card.
All right. Okay, your question. So Rose McGowan and Joaquin Phoenix were both born and raised into a cult, but have publicly spoken out against it. Which cult were they born and raised into? Your options are A, Scientology, B, Heaven's Gate, C, Children of God, or D, The Reasonableists.
It's Children of God. I remember the phrase flirty fishing for the rest of my life. Children of God started in the late 60s, and it was a cult where they would send young women out to hit on guys to get them to be involved in the cult, and they called it flirty fishing, which is
They did.
very difficult to unsee. And so I'll remember them forever. Every time Rose McGowan says something reasonable, I'm always like, Children of God.
She like pops up a lot all over Twitter, and I'm like, sometimes her takes really aren't that great, but I'm like, she was raised in a cult. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I like that she seems angry and like brittle, and I like that about her. I like her personality a lot, but yeah, you got to remember.
Yes, so that's correct. I'm giving you 6 points because you knew that one. You had that locked and loaded.
Yeah, and I'm going to add 2 to that because I feel like I learned something there while you were telling us about it.
Well, thank you.
All right, great. So Katie, you still have music and religion left.
It's religion.
Religion. All right. Okay, this is another Sean question, but I really like this question a lot. I want to make sure that we ask it. Okay, what did David, and I don't know how to say his last name, but he was the leader of the branch Davidians. So what did David Koresh, is that his name?
Koresh. Yeah.
Yeah, what did David Koresh do when the shooting started at Mount Carmel Center?
Yep.
I don't know how to say words. So what did he do when the shooting started? Your options are A, he used a baby as a human shield. B, he ran into the gunfire with nothing but a 6-shooter and a winning attitude. C, he stood on the roof and yelled, "You'll never get me, copper." Or D, he called 911 to report a shooting.
Weren't they shooting for like 2 months?
Yeah.
For like a really long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But what did he do when it started?
So when it first started, I'm gonna say he called 911. Like, I'm gonna say that, yeah. I think he was like, I saw that little series on Netflix. Like calm the whole time and stuff. I feel like, and he was talking to the FBI. I think he's called 911. That's gonna be from that 6 series little Netflix thing I remember.
Well, that is correct. Good job, Katie. Well reasoned and well researched. I haven't watched the series. Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right.
For a
So
little-
for that, I am going to give you 5 points. Great job.
Great, take it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I got to add a couple to that because of all the, like, when you think about what happened in Waco, you always think like it has to be the craziest answer. Whatever the craziest thing is, that's what it is. And no, he called 911, which is not what you would think initially, but you had it. So I'm adding 2 to that. So I think
I
it's
would
37.
say calling 911 is the craziest of these. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. All right, Sean, what's our total right now going into the last question of the first round?
So right now, Angela has 34 points and Katie has 37 points. So it is very close right now.
Ooh, very close game. All right, and we're going into the music category, which is kind of Angela's bread and butter here. So
Maybe. My musical knowledge has a huge cliff starting in like 1989.
oh, don't worry, yours is a Father Yod question. So.
Oh, I love Father Yod.
All right, so Angela, are you ready for your Father Yod question?
Okay, let's see if I can do it.
Okay, so as you know, Father Yod was the leader of the cult Source family, and he was also a musician in their band, which I think is called Yahovah 13. Is that what
Got it?
Yahovah 13. So my question to you is, what was his role in the band?
Oh, he was. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't have to read the options.
No, I want to know the options.
know the
They're
options?
so
Okay.
good.
So your options are A, lead guitar, B, bass guitar, C, vocals and percussion, or D, all about that keytar, baby.
Well, it would have been amazing if Keytar Bear was in the Source family. Keytar Bear's way more reasonable than that. Father Yod was the vocalist / percussionist. He would get, I don't think he was high. His fans were, the other guys in the band probably were, but he would just get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and go to where the guys were playing music and just start ranting into a microphone about vegetarian things. But his thoughts were not that clear, so he would just say like, bunnies are great. And then he'd be like, whoa, for a while. He's pretty fun.
My favorite fact about him was how he died.
I love the story of how he died. It's very sad that he had to die to get that great story. But yeah, he after the Source family started having money problems in the early 70s because it wasn't so cool to be a hippie anymore, he decided to move the whole family to Hawaii. And unfortunately, he was not very good at real estate transactions. So he just bought a section of jungle with no buildings on it. And then they went there and someone dropped them off in the middle of the jungle. And then the people who went nearly starved to death and died of thirst because there was nothing, they didn't know how to survive in the jungle and there were no other people around. So they wandered around, and just about the time they were getting ready to expire, they came upon a guy who was giving hang gliding lessons. And Father Yod was like, oh, this is the ticket. This is what's going to turn it all around. We'll go hang gliding with this guy, and then everybody will be inspired and everything will turn out okay. And the only problem with that is that Father Yod did not know how to hang glide. And so he went without any instruction and crashed into a cliff very quickly and perished. And unfortunately, his followers had to like move back home to San Francisco and figure out the rest of their lives. But they all lived, and they were sort of fine as they were going to be.
Yeah, it's as happy an ending of a cult that you can kind of come across, to be honest. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Angela, I love hearing you talk about Father Yod. I love learning stuff. That's 5 points for me for that answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add another 2 to that because once again you managed to hold off on yelling out the correct
It's so
answer.
hard not to be like,
I feel like you should get points because you know it before multiple choice comes out. If I were giving out points.
So
agree.
so Katie adds 1 point to your total, so that's 42
that's
now.
very kind.
All right, Katie, are you ready for your music question?
Ready?
All right, so your question is about the founder of Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
So L. Ron Hubbard, he actually composed an album/soundtrack to one of his science fiction novels, Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
What is the name of this album? Your options are A, Space Jams, B, Space Jazz, C, Xenu's Christmas album, or D, Butterflies in the Abyss.
Some good options there. I almost wish this was like, can you phone a friend? Because I know that Angela knows this. But
I would say phone a friend if you want, and then it's up to you whether or not you believe her. That's kind of...
I hope it's Space Jazz. That sounds like really cool. But it was weird. Was he into jazz? I don't really know much about Scientology. I'm gonna go with the Butterflies, just because I feel like that might be kind of up their alley. Who knows?
That was my fake answer. You were so close to the right one.
Space Jazz is the right one.
Space Jazz is the right answer, Katie. You gotta believe
Gotta
in
go with my
yourself.
gut, you guys. Ugh.
You know what, Katie? I'm giving you 4 points because you were so close, but then you sold yourself short. So you're getting 4 points from me for that one.
All right.
And you're so nice that you gave Angela a point last time, so I'm going to give you a point for sportsmanship, which brings you to 42 points, which means you're both at 42 points right now.
Whoa.
Look at that. Amazing. It's like we try to keep it interesting during
Can't
these
believe
shows,
it.
Sean.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so we are going into your final question of the night, ladies. So you can pick from, I think we have questions available in every category except famous incidents. Yeah, so Angela, you can pick any category that you would like.
Any category that I would like. I think you're right that the films are the films I have not seen. Can I pick religion?
Sure.
Okay, I'll pick religion.
All right. Okay, so your question. Which religion that ended in mass death still has an online presence since some faithful members were left behind to answer emails? Your options are A, the Branch Davidians. I don't know how to say it. B, the People's Temple. C, Heaven's Gate. Or D, Second City.
So I used to own a business, and I taught myself how to build the website for that business from MySpace. Like when MySpace came around, they were like, hey, if you put these magic letters in the right sequence, you can turn your MySpace page yellow or blue or any color you want. And I was like, whoa, check it out. And I did it. and my MySpace page turned to color, and I was like, I know how to build a website. I totally know how to build a website right now. And I was quite wrong. I was very, very, very wrong. It took me many years to build a very bad website. And so when I was trying to learn how to do that, I was like, how do other people build good websites? And I came across the Heaven's Gate website. So I'm going to say Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate is correct.
Yay!
And once again, you kind of blow me away with your experience and relationships with cults.
I'm very old.
So that's another 5 points for me, Angela. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's 47. And Angela, I'll give you a point for every one of the people that you can name from your top 8 on MySpace.
Who was on my top 8 in MySpace? Can I even remember who I knew at that time? I think my roommate Jeff Grunkmeyer was in there. Probably my job. I worked at a warehouse called Forced Exposure. I think they were in there. I want to say the Sun City Girls because that was one of my favorite bands then, but they didn't have a MySpace, I don't think. I remember that I had trouble filling it with actual real human beings.
All right, well, I'm going to give you a point for your friend, I think you said Jeff?
Jeff, my roommate Jeff.
Okay, and then I'm going to give you one, I'm going to give you probably a point for the band that you said you liked.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give you 48 plus a probably. That's how many points you have right now.
Since she gave me one, can I donate my probably to Katie?
Sure, yeah, we'll give Katie the probably point. Okay,
Nice.
I made the change.
Least I can do.
All right. So, Katie, I think I don't even know, but you have a couple of points to make up for at least. You can choose from any category except famous events. Where would you like to go?
I don't know. Like wild card.
Wild card.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, why can I not? Oh, okay, I found it. I was looking at bird questions. All right, your question is about Scientology again.
Ugh, okay. Not
You
the
got
cult
this.
you know that much about.
Trust your instincts, Katie. Okay, so many accusations have been leveled against David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology. Which is not one of the prominent claims against him? So I'm going to give you 4 claims against him. 3 are real, 1 is not real.
Okay.
A, that he has either killed or imprisoned his wife. B, that he named himself the spiritual husband of all Scientologists, including Tom Cruise. C, that he frequently beats up other high-ranking Scientologists. Or D, that he has committed extensive financial fraud.
Okay, I know that A and C are true. What was D?
D is that he's committed extensive financial fraud.
Yeah, because they're tax exempt and they're like they have millions and millions of dollars. Guys, you got to watch these Netflix. I've seen like one series, one episode. So what I think that leaves me with, what was the spiritual husband thing?
Spiritual husband, yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't know that much about Scientology. I do like reading about random cults sometimes. So I do like some of the stuff has kind of brought back memory things that I've thought about or seen before. Not thought about, excuse me. I'm not thinking about cults, but you know.
I read about cults all the time, Katie. I get it.
So I feel like in the few things that I do know about Scientology, I've never heard him talking about himself as a spiritual husband. So I've got to go with that. Like, I don't think that's real.
That is correct.
Cool.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's more of like a People's Temple kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a Jim Jones thing. So that's correct, even though you said you're not that strong on Scientology. You got that answer accurate. So I'm going to give you 5 points for that, Katie. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. So that makes it 47 points. And I honestly, I was reading the question in our on the document that we have, and I didn't hear anything that Katie said, so I can't give her any points. But but Angela gave her probably a point. It's 48, Angela 47, Katie. So they're probably tied, but I'm not sure.
Well, I love it because in cults, everyone really needs to kind of be at the same level. So this is the perfect ending to the show, I think.
Good point.
Yeah.
This was a fun one. This is good.
Yeah, great job, you guys.
Yeah.
It was a
Thanks
good,
for joining us.
it was
I
a
love
good time.
talking and thinking, and I do love thinking about cults. I think about it all the time. I feel like I could join one and like not fall into it. You know what I mean?
I wonder how
Which
many
one is
people
your
have thought
favorite?
that.
Huh? Well, I didn't hear you.
Sorry. Hey, Sean, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, I wonder how many people have thought that and joined.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, like I won't be the one that gets taken.
Like I'm just gonna join for the lols. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Angela, I have a question for you because
Please.
I had written this question and we didn't get to it, but I want to know if you can. I was trying to do, Charles Manson had the song with the Beach Boys and everything,
Yeah, sure.
and I was trying to do a multiple choice one where I used different Beach Boys songs to make you guess which one it actually was titled. And I'm sure you know the actual title.
Yeah.
So if you want to tell us right now, go ahead.
It's the never say never always one, yes?
Never learn
Never
not to
learn
love.
not to love.
Yeah,
Is that one?
yeah. So the options that I had written was, and these are all Beach Boys songs. Apparently, some of them I didn't hear of until today. But "Do You Like Worms?" like Charles Manson wrote. "I'm the Pied Piper," or "Fun, Fun, Fun." Now, my question for you, Angela, is what do you think there's a better, like, if you heard just the name of the Beach Boys song, which one would you think was written by Charles
Was
Manson?
the Charles Manson
Based
song?
on title alone.
There's one of my favorite Beach Boys songs that I have the music from it, a bar of the music from it tattooed on my ankle, is just called Solar System. So that's not bad. There's a bunch of 70s ones that have really slightly out there titles. There's a song, the most famous song from the 70s is probably just called Johnny Carson. It's a song about Johnny Carson.
Huh.
I don't know why it's not Rick Jenkins' theme song, but it isn't. Let me think. What else would be a great? Oh, I know. There's a very obscure alternate Christmas album that has a song that Dennis Wilson wrote that's just called Holy Holy. That seems like it's real dirgy too. It would be perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the Charles Manson one. All right. Well, thank you all for doing this. Thanks, May, for writing, I'd say 95% of the questions tonight. And Katie and Angela both for being our contestants. It was a good time. I'm just going to outro the show, and then I'll see you all on the other side.
Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid.